Hi guys. A viewer from my last video mentioned quadratic equations, and I actually feel the same way about them, but perhaps for a different reason. And that reason is the infamous quadratic formula, which is actually what we'll be rating today in this video. If you are new here, this is a series I'm calling Rating Equations in Math Like They Were Food. It's a series where I do not explain how the equations work or where they come from. I don't show you any examples or anything like that. No. This is not that video. Instead, all we'll be doing here is judging the equations, the quadratic formula in particular, on these 5 factors. Its presentation, or its looks. Its ease of use, which is, I think, self-explanatory. Its value, or how versatile it is in the world of math. Its, what's the next one? Exclusivity. Yes, exclusivity, or how well known is it by the general public. And lastly, is taste. What do I mean by the taste of an equation? Basically how it makes you feel when you're using it. Right, I like to call it the je ne sais quoi of the equation. That ineffable quality about it that distinguishes it from all other equations in math. So that's what we'll be judging the quadratic formula on today in this video. So let's get right into it. All right, first up, its presentation. And guys, I am so sorry you have to look at that mess, or if it has brought back nightmares from your Algebra 1 class. Because yes, the quadratic formula is not the most elegant looking equation out there. Or shall we say, it's not the most mathematically tasty looking equation out there. I mean, just look at that square root. That looks intimidating. And what's going on in front of the square root? You have that plus or minus sign. Are you asking me to add and subtract at the same time? I mean, what's going on, right? This is what happens when you just jam all the math operations that you can think of into one formula. It's like a mathematical casserole that you definitely will not enjoy making, nor will you enjoy eating it. So because of all that, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 10. Was I a little bit too harsh on the quadratic formula in that last round? Perhaps I was. But I think it has a good shot of doing well in this round when we evaluate it on its ease of use. Because frankly, if you have some facility with squares and square roots and basic arithmetic, the quadratic formula should be a walk in the park for you. But then again, there is that pesky plus or minus sign in front that we would have to sort out, which would basically prolong the cooking process, if you know what I mean. Because essentially what would need to happen is we would have to break up the formula into 2 cases, the plus case and the minus case, and then we would have to evaluate each case separately from each other. It just means there's essentially more cleanup to do at the end, more dishes to do, if we want to continue that analogy. So yeah, taking all of that into consideration, I think I'm gonna give the quadratic formula a 6 out of 10 on the ease of use. All right, and that brings us to the value. How versatile is the quadratic formula in the world of math? And I think there's some good value to be had here. Because while yes, you can only use the quadratic formula when you have a quadratic equation, there is still some flexibility to be had with that x in the quadratic equation. Basically, you can plug in any algebraic expression you want into that x, and you can then apply the quadratic formula to solve that equation. It's kind of like having a baking mode where no matter what ingredients you put into the molds, it will still give you the same delicious results each and every time. I hope that metaphor makes sense. But yeah, and additionally, you can also use quadratic equations to solve things like areas or missing numbers and sequences, eigenvalues. So it's quite versatile. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for its value. All right, guys. So for this next one, exclusivity, I'm afraid, just like with the Pythagorean theorem, this will be the demise of the quadratic formula as well. Because, once again, I think if you ask anyone on the streets what formula or theorem they remember from their high school math, it would probably be either the quadratic formula or the Pythagorean theorem. Yeah. But perhaps people have a harder time recalling the quadratic formula because it is so much more complicated looking than the Pythagorean theorem. But I think at least they'll remember its name. So the quadratic formula isn't really all that exclusive. No reservations are needed ahead of time, so to speak, to enjoy this equation. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 10 for its exclusivity. All right, on to the final category, which is the taste of the quadratic formula. Now, mathematical taste can be as subjective as its gastronomical cousin. But for me, personally, I find that the quadratic formula doesn't taste that good. Since it's just a chore to use due to its unpleasant looking structure, I oftentimes find myself just rushing through the process just to get to the answer, to get to the inevitable conclusion. Yeah. In other words, it's all about the destination, not the journey for me whenever I'm using the quadratic formula. Yeah, I just want to get it over with, basically. So there is no joy to be found in the process of using this formula, at least for me. So because of that, I'm going to have to give the quadratic formula a 1 out of 10 for its taste. All right, let's go ahead and total this bad boy up and see what we get. 18 out of 50. 18 out of 50. Is that right? That seems a little bit high for the quadratic formula, but I suppose the math checks out. Yeah, okay. 18 out of 50 it is. So the quadratic formula is not complete trash, I suppose. It's just mid or lower mid. But it's complete trash in my book. What? No, I said it was a D. A solid D. Yeah. Anyway, please let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree with my rating of the quadratic formula. I would very much love to hear your thoughts on this matter. And also let me know if there are any other equations in math that you would like to see me raise in the future. So with that, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing down below if you like this content. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay sharp out there. If the quadratic formula was a food, what food would it be? I think black licorice. Yeah. Mid presentation, decent value, awful taste. Yeah, that just about sums up black licorice. Can you tell I don't like black licorice? All right, so let's go ahead and total everything up. That's not how I say total.